working for myself. I bought this SD35. I paid a little bit more than I usually do, but it was well worth it. There's actually not a lot wrong with this. It's already in really good shape. I am going to clean it though, just to give it that extra little bit of shine. This paint scheme is incredibly loud, you know. It's a yellow with blue and orange. I kind of like that. I'm not gonna weather this. I especially like the orange handrails. They really make the engine stand out. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove the shell. So I use my box to remove the shell. It's in really good shape. I'm just going to clean it with some soap and my toothbrush. So while that's drying, I'm going to work on my drive system. So everything looks to be in its place. You know what? Let's try it on the track just to see how it runs. So that runs pretty good actually. Can't complain too much, but see, it keeps stalling every once in a while. So that's probably just the wheels that are dirty. So I'll get to work on that. I'm gonna get in there and I'm gonna give it a good tune-up. So I'll start by removing the gas tank. It's pretty easy to remove. And the two screws. I'm on there a little bit tight. These are ending up being my favorite locomotives, the SD35s, SD40s. I just like the way they look. So these trucks, they're not very symmetrical. Although they don't have a direction, one side is longer than the other. And there's brake hardware that go by the gas tank. So you can't really confuse them. And then this is a DCC compatible frame. So I'm gonna spread it out gently and remove these 4 pins that hold it and the circuit board. You want to take your time when you do that. Do an extra good job. It ran pretty well, so there's not much to do, but I like them to run perfectly. So I'll finish spreading this out off camera. Now you can see your motor. I'm just gonna put 2 drops of oil in there just to say that I've done something. That's all you need. 2 little drops. And that's more than you need. I'm gonna spin my worm gears around a little bit, but that should be fine. So now I'll work on the trucks. This unit, it has blue trucks, dark blue, like they're supposed to be. That's a nice, very nice extra detail, which I appreciate. And once you got your wheels, then I can clean them. Also, while I'm in here, I'm going to look at the gears, make sure there's no dust or particles or scenery foam in there. But that looks really good. So I'll just clean the wheels out. Get my rag. I'm going to take a clean section here and I'm going to rub this against my wheels. We'll find out pretty quick here if they were dirty. They didn't look dirty, but as you can see, they had some accumulated stuff on them. This is the way that I found that has the best results. squeaky clean. So while I had everything in my hands, I took the time to clean it. I'm gonna put everything back together now. The wheels, they're interchangeable, so you don't have to worry too much about that. Do you find that normal to take the locomotive apart, to take the time to clean the wheels? There's other ways of cleaning the wheels. I probably would do that every 6 months at least. Maybe you need more. I'm just looking at my contact strips there. This one has a little bit of hair in it, so I'm gonna remove that while I have it in my hand. That's definitely not something you want. The other one seemed okay. So the locomotive can run even though it has some hair, but I would like to avoid it if I can. I have too many engines now, so I don't run them every week even. I run them every once in a while. Just like everybody else, I have my favorites. So test it to make sure that you're happy with the results. And if so, you can bring your side frames in. And the side frames fit over the gears. There's a space for the gears. That should just snap back in. Test it again to make sure you're happy with the results. Also make sure all the bearings are in their caps where they should be. That looks pretty good. I'm going to do the other side off camera. Now I'm going to put everything back together. Make sure that my circuit board contacts both sides of the motor, the pins from the motor. I'm going to bring this back together one step at a time. Make sure everything's lined up properly. That looks pretty good. I'm going to try it with my test leads just to make sure. See, now there's a problem. I'm getting electricity because my light is on, but the motor's not turning. So if I look here, I can see the pin that contacts from the circuit board's not touching it. So I did that wrong. I have to restart it. See, now that saved me from putting the engine on the track, being disappointed, having to remove the shell and start over again. Much easier to do it like that. And I'll try it the other way. Sounds great. Now I didn't tighten my screws yet, so I can bring in my trucks and slowly shimmy them in there. Now to the other side too. Remember the gas tank holds your contact strips together. So you want to make sure they're lined up properly, all the pins connect before you put the gas tank back on. And also the light shield. And at this point I haven't tightened my screws up yet, but I feel it would be a good time to do it now. So I will do that. If I put the engine on the track like that with the screws not tightened, I probably wouldn't even know the difference. It can run without them. But it just feels better to have everything this point, I feel pretty confident to try it on the track. So that has taken care of my stalling issues. So since I have the shell in my hand, I'm going to work on the couplers there. A lot of people seem to be interested in couplers, so I'm going to do one for you. So I'm going to switch out these Rapidos for micro trains. This takes a little patience, of course. But when you have the shell in your hands, it's easier to get in there and get things done. So I just have to get the retainer out. And then I'll put in the new one. Usually it's not that hard. There's just days like that, I guess. I'm not sure that this is the original thing, because usually they're very easy to get out. Well, here we go. We're almost ready. Yeah, that is interesting. Usually it's very easy to remove. And there we go. Oh yeah, they were glued in place even. Look at that. Definitely probably not the original retainer. Now all I gotta do is bring in my coupler. Now I can put it there using one of the Rapido train retainers, or I can put my own screw, which is what I think I'm gonna end up doing for this. So once you get your screw, just tighten it. And that's it. You're good. Now that I got my couplers sorted out, I can bring my shell back on. That should go nice and easy. And now it's time to run some trains. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I certainly had fun making it for you. See you soon.